Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel YTCSC, YouTube's Celtic Supporters Club. My name is Mark Campbell, as you already know, and I am your host. Okay, so last night we had the big meeting between the Celtic board and the fans group, and it's kind of been the talk of the town, and people really want to know what's happened and what came of it. Did it actually achieve anything, is probably the question that everybody has on their mind. Is there any real changes going to come for this, or did the club just really go through the motions to try and appease what is an uprising from the Celtic fans? Before I dive into that then, we are closing in on 1,500 subscribers. Just to say, about 80% of people who watch our videos are not subscribed. So hit the button. Come on, takes 2 seconds, costs nothing, and it really helps us grow. We want to get to that 1,500 to start with, but I want to push on to 2,000 and then just continue to motor on. So click the button. Come on. Okay, so let's get into the video. Let's set the scene then. This wasn't a casual chat. It was a sit down between Celtic's hierarchy and key fan organisations. So we had the Celtic Supporters Association, Celtic Trust, the Green Brigade, and we had others there as well. Now, the new group, they are called the Celtic Fans Collective. They weren't on the original guest list, so they weren't invited initially. But after a bit of back and forth, and a few other groups giving up some seats, I believe, they managed to get 3 members in the room, which is important because we want as many groups and as many people in there as we possibly can that are going to voice the right opinion. So in total, there was about 7 from the collective and a mix from others, other fan bodies there that were there to represent the Celtic fans. So on the club side, reports say Michael Nicholson and Chris Mackay were there. That hasn't been officially confirmed yet. We don't know until we actually hear from the body and the group that were there. So if they weren't, you'd imagine fans wouldn't be too happy about that, given that it was promised, but I can't see them not being there. Although I can imagine how squirmy they were in their seat. But from what I'm hearing, they've went there with a plan and nothing much has really changed. So was it worth the wait? We will hear from the people who know a bit more, but we've got some early information. Early signs say not really. There's no official update from the collective yet. They're waiting to finalise their minutes with the club first. But we do have leaked notes and messages from people who attended, and they paint a pretty clear picture. It was 2.5 hours of back and forth, very little progress. Why do I say there was very little progress? And it's kind of what everybody was expecting. I was hoping and praying, fingers crossed, probably like everyone else, that something good would come of this. But word is the board has refused to acknowledge any of the key issues. So they've come with their eyes wide closed, in other words. So they don't accept the club's lost momentum. Nonsense. They are so wide of the mark. I have got no idea what these people watch and what these people see every day. If that's what they believe, we are so far off the pace. Momentum is something that makes you continually grow and continually move forward. Celtic have not done that. They don't think recent transfer windows have been poor. Again, oh my God, is all I can say to that. Oh my God. These people are living in a parallel universe and they are seeing something completely different. They must be so out of tune and out of touch. It is absolutely crazy. They don't believe there's any gap between the manager and the board either. Those were the three main things. And from what we see and what we read and what we hear, that again is absolute nonsense. Nonsense, because the manager's not got anything that he wanted. And he has been pretty open and honest about that. And the board are the people who are meant to be giving him what he wants, and there's not. So that's a gap. That's a huge gap. So in short, Celtic are in complete denial. And from what I'm hearing, right, I can't guarantee this. So it lines up with what we saw, their statements a few weeks ago. They are just brushing over the problems. They are sweeping it under the carpet. They're trying to sweep it under the carpet. It's a big mistake. If this is true, it's a big mistake in my opinion. So they're taking no ownership at all. No change in attitude at all, which we all thought there would be some kind of bend. And it's super frustrating, really. It's really frustrating as a Celtic fan that the Celtic board think that they can just come and push their same agenda again and tell us that we're wrong and they're right, and everything that we are seeing and feeling and hearing is nonsense. And that is just going to paint up more anger for me and the Celtic fans, and it's just going to bring more problems, in my opinion. So there's no mention of that leak to the Scottish Sun, Brendan Rodgers, and apparently the club isn't even planning to look into it. So they're not even going to do an investigation, which is beggars belief. I think. So every board member's just said it was not them. Apparently they went round and spoke to every board member, and they've all said, no, it wasn't me. And that's good enough for Celtic. That is good enough for them. That is a nonsense. If Dermot Desmond or Celtic board wanted to find out who done this, they could easily do it. They've got ways and means. The media, I'm pretty sure, would give up the traitor if they paid them enough money, and that's what they should be doing. They should be throwing a bit of money at this and finding out who done it, but they're not willing to do it, which is just a Celtic board all over the back. Okay, so the one positive, the only silver lining or positivity to come out of the meeting was the board admitting the fan communication could be better. Well, oh my God, that is at least a tiny little thing, but they can't deny that. They can't deny the other stuff which they are denying. It's like a bad relationship, right? It's like being in a bad relationship where one partner's cheating on the other, and the other partner just deny, even though they've been caught red-handed. It wasn't me. It's like that song. It wasn't me. Nonsense. But the board have said that this is an issue before and they're going to do it, and nothing has happened. So unless action is taken behind the scenes, these are just empty words for me. Empty words. So hopefully the fan reps pressed for real details and not just vague promises about improvement. So we'll find out, I'm pretty sure, later on. So let's be honest, there might be another reason the meeting suddenly happened. In my eyes, it's a cash thing. It's a cash money thing. They are concerned in my eyes. So there's a theory going around that it's linked to falling revenue, which hopefully it is. Merchandise sales are reportedly down. Even with a huge new store opening in Queen Street in Glasgow, people have noticed it's been very quiet and there's not a lot of money exchanging hands, even in Saturdays, which is a good thing because the Celtic fans are voting with their pocket, which should then get the Celtic board to listen. Ticket sales aren't great either. Motherwell game didn't sell out, which is rare for a weekend at Celtic Park. The Europa League crowds, my God, they've been poor as well. Plenty of empty seats about. The club's pushing these ticket sales and promos all over social media. Nobody's really biting. So maybe this meeting was less about them listening and more about protecting their income if they possibly can. The bigger picture for me then, and it's the real worry, if engagement is only happening when money dips, then what does that say about their priorities? Do they care about this football club genuinely, or are they caring about the bank balance? Do they care about the fans genuinely, or do they see us just as a cash cow that needs to be squeezed whenever they want to top the bank balance up? Okay, so fans, we aren't asking for the world, just honesty, a wee bit of ambition. Ambition is a key word here, and some accountability. Right now the board tone feels defensive and it also feels dismissive, so no wonder so many supporters think proper change is overdue. So we'll get a clearer picture once the full minutes are released, hopefully soon, and with another meeting planned for October 16th, that could be the next key moment. So let's see how the Celtic collective take a stronger stance after this. I believe they will, and I believe things are going to escalate. In my opinion, that's what will happen. So looking ahead, on the pitch, a quick word on the football itself. The international break, number 2 of the season is here already, and I'm not going to lie, it feels like we have a wee bit of football, a couple of weeks, and then there's an international break. It's too much for me, too much stopping and starting. I'm glad that we managed to get that one over Motherwell before that break, because it would have lingered a wee bit. Obviously Rangers sacked their manager, which I don't really want to talk about because it's not really why I'm here. But there's plenty of players away: Schmeichel, Scales, Carter Vickers, Maeda, Tierney, the usual names. But there's a lot of players that are still at Lennox Town: McGregor, Forrest, Hatate, Yang. Johnston still rehabilitating, obviously, with his injury, but there's a lot of Celtic players haven't been called up, which is potentially due to their form. So we need to get these guys that are at Lennox Town prepared, because once we're back, it's non-stop. 8 games before the next break, including the Europa League and the Cup semi-final against Rangers, which I'm looking forward to. So there you have it. A long meeting, short and answers. Do you think the board's out of touch? Is that a silly question? Are the fans expecting too much? I don't think so. I absolutely don't think so. But let me know in the comments, please. We'll feature what you have got to say. We can bring that up when we have our next conversation. Brian and I are looking to get together and do a wee video. We've not done one together for ages. So if you've enjoyed the chat, please subscribe. As I said, 80% of people aren't subscribed. Share it around for us as well, please. Would really appreciate that. But thanks for watching, and as always, hail, hail.